It's hard to find a moment of more genuine terror than the poop walk. Like when you know you really gotta go. It's gotta get out of your body. It is chomping at the bit to get out of there. One little slip and you got doo-doo in your Laco. And so what you gotta do is go through this poop walk where you are really trying to be fast, but you're clenching. You're clenching big time. You're trying to not move your legs very much. You're trying to be just a straight line and have as little change in your body movement as possible, but you're also kind of trying to go as fast as possible, but you can't run because that would just be too risky. So I wanted to create a name for this type of movement. What I came up with is Qwadench. And Qwadench has a ridiculous amount of things built into that word. Originally, I was actually going to do Qwadench, and Qwadench has the start of walk in there because that's what you're doing. You're walking. You can't do anything else than that. Plus, there's also the word wad in there, which is appropriate because you might end up with a big old wad in your Laco if you don't move fast enough. In addition to wad, it also is kind of the start of waddle because that's kind of the movement that you're making. Like, you're not an efficient walker when you're doing this. You're barely lifting your legs. So you're more waddling than anything, and that's also built into this word. And then it ends with ench because, for one, you're clenching as you're walking to try to have some prevention right there. And what you're trying to prevent is the stench. So you clench to stop the stench, and that's why we have that ending. And the Q at the start, because then it kind of sounds a little bit like Qwadench, which is, of course, a game where you are trying to move rapidly with your legs pressed up tight to each other, clenching around a broomstick in that case, but it's kind of like you got something between your legs in this scenario too, because you are trying to stop this poop from coming out. So those are all of the great appropriate ideas that I have packed in to Qwadench. And I thought of this because last week I was doing my night cardio. It was probably near midnight at this time, and I'm doing my walking, running, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like a mile and a half away from my house. And the trail that I run on, there's houses like around them, like they see the trail. And I mean, it's so late that like nothing's going to be open and there's not anything really around me for the most part anyway. So I have to speed walk with just ferocity to try to get home. And it takes like 20 some minutes. And to give you a little bit more context here too, I was also wearing white thigh-coes. So I did not really want to let things loose in that scenario. So I had to really get moving. And I was just peeking at bushes the entire way through. I'm just like, all right, this might have to be the play. But it was just going to be hard to cover up if anything came out. And so I just kept turning and burning. Qwadenched all the way through and managed to be safe. And I did just barely manage to get to the bathroom in time, but it was risky all the way through. But I thought we should have a word for this. Let's move on to our song and video of the day. Song of the day is Shorty Wanna Be a Thug by Tupac. I love this song. Not one of the Tupac songs that were always super frequently listened to or added by me, but in the last, I don't know, half a year or so, I've been listening to this a lot. Just got some super cool lyrics and delivery in this one that are present in my favorite Tupac songs, and this is just a really good one off of All Eyes on Me, which is probably my favorite album of his, and it's some sweet stuff. Then for the video of the day, from Churdley's, it is Can I Tell You Something? And this clip cracks me up so much, especially like the first minute. It doesn't really develop, so you don't have to watch it all the way through, but it is pretty funny still. I forget the name of the other content creator that's in this. Someone can probably comment that. He works with Churdley's a decent amount. I actually like his stuff more than Churdley's in general, but I just can't remember the name off the top of my head. But they each make some super funny content and got a lot of this great awkward stuff. So yeah, that's what we got. That'll do it for the Daily Do. Peace out.